can really take this game over because nobody's contesting him on the map either. I mean, think of how these heroes shove lanes out versus hero. He gets bots. He gets his, his second item. He's forcing basically all of their cores off the map. So that's the part that becomes really scary because he has Breaker to back him up too, right? So that's the part where CHILLAX needs to think about how are they playing this map? How are they shoving out the waves versus these two map control heroes? And how are they getting to that late game timing where DPC can kind of take the game over?
Yeah, so like you would be concerned looking at this for their ability to just sort of keep areas safe for this Medusa to actually show a face, clear out a wave without the chicken fighters charging in and starting off action fire before the Medusa's actually ready to fight back.
Yeah, because this Wind Ranger's going to have a hard time skirmishing into Bat and Breaker on top of two high magic supports. So you're talking about a lot of early nuke damage. It's not a lot of heroes that want to go and right-click her through evasion, right? So in general, holding areas is going to come down to this Mars and Jakiro spells if they can get the early levels. But I'm a bit worried for how this early game is going to go because I just think as long as chicken fighters don't get crushed in lanes, they have a pretty good timing that they're going to hit around this 15-minute mark.
Yeah, and when you consider the lanes, right, with the lane, it's not like the lanes are that bad. You know, top lane, Jug, sure not a hero that we see too much, but as the panel was saying, has its obvious strengths against the Mars in the lane, and a great lane partner, right? This Jug Grim, they might be able to get aggressive and do some damage in the laning stage.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely kill potential here. You just have to land those strokes, right?
Yeah.
Hit them all. You can't miss too many because they're pretty mana intensive, and Jug is also he's a high committal spell hero too. So if you can chip him down and then you can go for the spin kill, it can be worth it. But a lot of times if you spin a hero down, he salves up, you're weak on the lane for a bit, it can be hard to destroy the early waves with this hero. So generally you're going to play for those later timings, get super fat. I also don't think Jug is under too much pressure this game in terms of he has to get a lot done. I think he does have a decent matchup in Medusa. He can scale pretty well versus hero. Omni Slash can bypass a lot of her control mechanics. So he has some routes to kind of go into this mid-late game and not feel too pressured, like, the whole weight of the early game's on his shoulders or something like that.
Yeah. And where does sort of Jug sit in general as a hero for you, like as a carry? Because it doesn't seem like it's something that a lot of teams are willing to really play with. There's always tends to be something else on the table that they rather have than the Jug.
I think this hero's he's been kind of out of favor for a while to some degree. You kind of see him as one of these later picks. Maybe in these lineups where you're versus a bunch of spell damage and they can't really pierce the immunity, that's when you see him. Or some super good healing ward game, right?
Sure, yeah.
Like Zeus or Tinker, healing ward can come into play. We used to see that historically. I don't think anything like that strikes out too crazy that game. I think they just kind of wanted it for the lane versus the Mars. It's pretty hard to arena this hero. And I do think healing ward can do some decent work for their backline this game. But personally, I always like the hero in terms of he can accelerate the game a lot. That's how I think of this hero. He can make early game moves very quickly and get a lot out of them. Because if you get the kill with his early nukes, an early Omni Slash, you can push that tower, you can use the healing ward. It's hard to come back in and contest him sometimes. So if you can get some early work done with this hero, your lane goes well, you make one or two good early moves. I think traditionally that's how the hero gets to be successful in the metas.
Yeah. And sort of with Jug nowadays, what sort of build are we looking for? Is it the Maelstrom first still? Are we? I guess we're not going to be. Are we going to see something like a Battle Fury? I mean, when you see the Deuce, did you sort of say I'm going to hit creeps better than that hero, or you don't really want to see the hero played out in that style in that matchup against Medusa?
I guess it really depends how well he thinks his team's helping him scale.
Yeah.
They think this Bat Rider is going to have a really good game, which it should, and she can help pull some of that weight versus Medusa, because that matchup can be extremely bad for Medusa in terms of you just get stacked up and you get lassoed in, you're just dead. So he could go some sort of Maelstrom, Diffusal, Manta combination of something like that just for a faster pace and early magic damage. But I also see a lot of Jugs just going that Battle Fury into Manta, into Scotty, something along those lines. Tank up, farm at the equivalent rate, do the ancient stacks, clear the map a bit faster. But ultimately, I don't know. I like those patches where this hero got the spin to win build. Go in there with the Maelstrom procs, the shard.
Yeah,
just start spinning on people. I feel like that was the best version.
The shard was pretty hot when it was added.
Yeah.
You still see it sometimes, but yeah, just not quite with the prevalence as before. I mean, I like the... well, I guess there never really was a period, but the magic build Jug, I'm telling you, that's the good stuff.
Yeah,
get those Blade Fury tablets, get the Veil.
Oh, the Veil? You're buying Veil and Jug?
Hey, it's a cheap item, dude. You know, it's easy
pretty
build
spicy.
up.
I feel like if I saw my Jug go to lane with a crown, I'd already be reporting him.
Hey, he might be going Glype now, you know.
That's true.
But
that's true.
Much more appropriate. And we have so far in the lane, pretty even CS between Aqua and Mastery top. In fact, is anyone really suffering so far in the first few waves? Doesn't look like it. Pretty close start here. And a calm start. No action quite so yet, but as we're saying, this top lane, we've got to keep our eyes on it, especially when the sort of level 3s come out.
Yeah, that's their big timing.
Yeah.
Grim spells almost double in damage. Jugs,
Yeah.
that's when he feels good using a spin because the CD drops. You get a little extra mana cost. And it's also when you get to this boots timing, right? We saw him fly it out pretty quick here. I think when you go this boots, you're basically saying, I'm going to try and kill you with it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, Mastery's got to be cautious. Yeah, both of them have. Because, without a doubt, if he can get a full spin off, it's going to be time for damage coming from Pexu as well. Like, one of these heroes and CHILLAX will die, so MNT and Mastery have to be careful with the distance that they keep.
Yeah, so there's like the stroke chip, right? So now they should threaten this kill. And I think ideally you want to use these kill threats to out-CS your opponent. Because the kill itself is not worth a huge amount past the first blood. It'll skew the lane a little, but if you're just, for example, if this Mars is just out-CSing you the whole time because you're playing for the kill and you're losing region, it doesn't end up being that much of a value in the end. So you just want to threaten it so you can, aggressively CS on the person. I think the other hero you see the fast boots come out on is Monkey King, for example. Another hero that can run you down the lane, and if you get that first blood, then the boots make up for it, right? So that's what they're really looking for in this top lane. Threaten the kill, get the first blood if you can, and make the boots worth the payoff.
So far, CHILLAX, they're not letting it happen there. They're playing it smart, and Chicken Fighters not quite able to find that opportunity that they may have hoped for.
Yeah, they're also getting the Ancient stacks up, which is something I think both carries are going to want at some point in this game, depending on the Jugs build too. But Medusa's one of the best Ancient clears, one of the best heroes to use that to get to her next timing in terms of getting to that Yasha into the Manta transition. So, and Chicken Fighters don't really have the easiest ways to contest it outside of just going there and skirmishing with some Bat Rider Power Rune or something like this, right? But Wind Ranger is doing pretty good.
I was going to say, is it a little unexpected in this mid matchup that the Wind Ranger would have such a lead, or?
I think she can do okay in this matchup. I mean, normally, as long as you don't die to the bat, you're going to get all those stick charges, you're going to get all your mana back, so your efficiency can go up pretty fast. And yeah, I do think you rush boots in a lot of these matchups, which can help. But I think Bat should pretty much be free farming in this matchup. So I think he should be doing a little better, but he can also catch up. He's stacking small. Missed the triple, unfortunate. But ultimately, I still think the most important thing for this early game is these 6 and 8 minute power runes for that hero.
Yeah, for the Wind Range, I mean, when you look at sort of potential moves that MTD can make, I mean, who's MTD going to really be having his eyes on? Is he going to be heading to one of these side lanes, or is he going to be calling on some action to turn up to try and push this bat out of the lane?
I think you have to be careful when you make these side moves, depending on how high resources the enemy mid is too, right? Because you don't want to end up in a situation where, for example, he goes and tries to gank bottom, the Spirit Breaker's tanky, and it gives Bat a free TP in after he's aggressively run in or something like this, right? Because that's when Bat can super capitalize on some of these turnaround ganks. But I do think probably their best move they can make is something top with an arena. If you can just arena or spear this Jug, his spins on CD, maybe something like this, you just run him down. Even if he just goes top and forces the Jug out of there, this Mars can do a lot of damage to that tower in a short amount of time that the Jug has to come out, right? So, something to think about.
Oh, Pexu. Oh, he tries to get the deny there to Roche. Isn't going to happen. As first blood will go the way of MTD. Finding Pexu there. Handing over around these 6 minutes spawn of the runes. See Branya try and get MTD here. They get the drag back from Era. This should be enough to do it as the win run is coming to an end. The Chicken Fighters will get MTD in return. Also, that rune still sitting there down bottom. That'll be theirs, the illusion.
Not the rune he's hoping for, but he still gets a lasso kill on the Wind Ranger.
Yeah.
As Grim comes in, gives the Wind Ranger a little gold, so that way when his back kills him, he gets a little more back. I mean, that's just
he's happy.
That's just good teammate acceleration right there, right?
All part of the plan there from Chicken Fighters, I'm sure.
You can use these illusion runes to stack, actually, if he's really thinking about it. You can double, triple stack your big jungle up and then farm it back later. So he's going to try and stack the small. It's probably the best way the back can use this rune.
Yeah, look, he's trying to, I think... Oh, no, okay, he's just sent the other one to scout over by the triangle, get sort of information about what's going on with the ancient stack of CHILLAX, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yep.
A beautiful amount of golden XP here prepared for the Medusa when they want to head over here and start to take that down. Of course, we'll see if they're... I mean, is there any way that Chicken Fighters are going to be able to hit timing where they can get over to this triangle at the same time that the Medusa sort of disappears to deal with it? Or is it going to be hard to stop the Medusa farming this area?
I think Chicken Fighters can contest it. I think their Bat's having a... I mean, as we talked about, he has a free game, and he's having a pretty good game. He's closing in on that highest net worth. He can get to this bots in the next minute or two. I think they have a very good opportunity to go to this big camp, for example, and contest it. I mean, they might not know how large it is, and their Ob got dewarded, and it's pretty hard for Bat to steal the Ancients. But even if they get a good fight around that area, I think it's the type of fight they want, because Bat's super strong in these open area type skirmishes, right? Neither of the Radiance supports are really dealing with him at all in those open areas in terms of getting the stickies, getting the stacks. One flame break is going to almost half your HP. So I think it's the exact type of fight they want to take. And again, there's that Arcane Rune, right? So now he feels super good about taking one of these.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be very nice, and should likely have it still in the bottle by the time the bots are done. So Branya will have that moment to get quite aggressive.
You might even smoke before it. Depends what they want to do. But like I said, they can also just play for this. Looks like they're going to do some stacks, play for the bots timing. Rubik has a smoke. He's almost level 5. Grim's going to take mid. So this should line up pretty nicely if they want to make an aggressive move with this bots coming out. And I think it's either to that triangle, or if this Medusa is still lingering bottom, which she is, that's another great target, right? Anytime you can kill this hero in the early game, it slows down all her timings. It also kind of helps you predict where she's going to go next. One kill can kind of help you get the later kills because, one, she's farther behind, but two, okay, her death timer's up. You know she's in base. Every carry wants to TP out to go farm somewhere. It's kind of easy to predict where she's going to go next, and you can sometimes chain these kills into each other.
Oh, we're going to CHILLAX get on the aggressive first here, MNT and MTD. See if they can get the setup onto the mid. It's just Pexu at the moment trying to pick up some XP, and he should pay with his life. Yeah, MTD commits in with a focus fire to take Pexu down. So Branya come in, Arrow with the drag back onto MTD. As again, MTD may have got a support kill, but it is going to cost him his life once again. Pexu just being that pesky bait here that MTD is falling for. MNT also going to go down in the mid. Branya, he's getting the kills. 3 kills straight up. I'm just going to maybe have a quick look at what's going on in the triangle right now. Nobody is here, but they will see that the Ancients have been prepared quite nicely. Looks like Branya might even attempt to have a poke at these with the Firefly. Okay, no, just a couple of napalm. He doesn't want to stick around. Still feels a little threatened with CHILLAX respawning.
Yeah, you can do Ancients with Pat, but you need the 10 stacks.
Yeah.
This is the type of fight I was talking about, where this Wind Ranger, she win runs aggressively to go in on something on these lanes. This Bat TPs and turns it around. Yeah. It's an Arcane TP, Arcane Firefly. He's super happy to make those moves, right? And
back in action. I mean, Chicken Fighters there. Somebody just walking over CHILLAX here as Mastery will turn up with the arena, but Branya's still kind of good to go. He's also got the lasso. Once more, they've caught the Wind Ranger. MTD dragged back. The Blade Fury burning through him. MTD goes down. Poor old Pexu dies again, but it's just all part of the greater plan, it seems here for Chicken Fighters. As each and every time, Chicken Fighters, they're the ones winning the overall team fight. Mastery's trying to run, but Baranya's able to take him out, bottling up, heal up through the tower hits. And Spat Rider, I mean, you said it from the start that it's going to be a good Bat game. Branya's certainly showing that he is getting away with quite a lot here in this first 10 minutes. I mean,
8-minute Arcane into 10-minute haste into open river engagement versus no dispels. You can't really set it up any better for him. Part of it is, I think, they're just walking into it a little too much, right? You have to respect this early Bat Rider in the open areas, and they feel pressured to defend their jungle, right? As we talked about, you don't want to give up these areas too early in the game because Dusa doesn't really have anywhere else to go if you lose too much of this early map control. But these types of fights are just pretty baity because they don't have the capability to take them. It's pretty much only this Mars Arena into the Spear, especially if the Wind Ranger is overextending with the early Wind Run. That's her only kind of gap setup mechanism, right? Otherwise, this Bat just closes on her, especially with the power runes, and it's just a kill every time.
Yeah.
She's never going to escape.
No, MTD's definitely got to be a bit more careful. All 3 deaths really been him over-committing onto Pexu, and it has cost him his life each and every attempt onto the Grimstroke, so...
This Jug is going Battle Fury, so he's just going to match the tempo.
All right.
Get super fat.
Yeah, I mean, I like they're making a lot of space for him, and he's not really been needed. Sure, you know, Aqua did turn up in that last move.
Yep.
And in fact, he's going to turn up again. He's got his eyes on mid. He's actually able to pick up a DD rune, so that'll speed up the farming.
Yeah, CHILLAX, they're They're kind of done trying to give this bat all the free runes, I think. But bringing pretty much all of their free heroes to fight this rune, they still don't get it, but at least you're trying to deny some of his early momentum. And now maybe they feel secure enough to try and do this huge instant stack for Medusa. But again, they're splitting the XP here, right? This isn't just some level 10 or 11 Dusa solo farming it completely. There's a lot of heroes committed for this. They're giving up bottom. They're not taking top tower in return. So they're giving up some map control to do this objective. And traditionally, this is where that stack isn't giving them as much gold as they would like in the end result, right? It looks really good because Dusa gets a lot and she catches up and she feels amazing. But we're seeing this Bats network just catapult, right? And if this tier 1 bottom dies, this tier 1 mid dies, it's going to be really hard to get these lanes out.
No, absolutely. And, you know, as you were saying earlier, for the Jug, the strength of him this game with the Blade Fury being that there just isn't anything other than the Stone Gaze, but obviously that's rather a weak sort of focus and lockdown for him. Yeah, Magic Immunity is going to be huge. The bots into the BKB. Once Baranya has that done, there's just going to be nothing. If he turns up to the fight with the BKB Firefly, CHILLAX just, they have to kind of split completely. They're not going to be able to fight underneath this Batrider.
I mean, he's invincible with BKB. Who's even remotely close to touching him, right? They have no BKB Pierce disabled. He just has absolutely free reign in the fight. It's pretty much if this Wind Ranger can get to, I guess, this early BKB she's also rushing and just ult and run him down. But it's not that easy, right? You get charged by a Spirit Breaker once or he goes over a cliff.
They're going to come in with the TPs here, CHILLAX. See what sort of a fight they can get going. They'll catch Jibe in the arena. And that will be a kill. He ults his way out, but he's not making it away. They'll be able to burst him down. It's the full 5 of them turning up and unlikely to find much more. The rest of Chicken Fighters keeping their distance. I said that actually, maybe they'll go for loading hit. It's Peksu. It's going to lead in. No Inkswell for a couple of seconds, and without it, kind of hard to commit any further. Turn. Oh, actually, maybe now with the Soulbind. Inkswell's going to be out of range, and yeah, Peksu's not got much more to offer here. It's Peksu, okay, brings down loading with him. Over to the side, MTD was able to run down Era. Aqua came over as well, but with the 2 supports gone, not really much more to be had over here, so Chicken Fighters will back off. A couple of kills there for CHILLAX.
Yeah, it helps their early game a lot. Whenever you can defend this mid tower against an aggressive lineup that wants to open it up, it gives you a huge window, right? It's all buying time for this Medusa and this Wind Ranger to catch up and get to their item timings. But once this arena's down, you just run back mid. You just take it like this. There's no way you're fighting a head-on team fight without this arena at this point in the game. I think Chicken Fighters were just a little too discoordinated there. I think this, for example, both subs being in this enemy jungle aggressively was the right position. They just needed a core there with him, and I think that link could easily turn into a double kill, right? You get the double lasso, pull him on the cliff, something like this. So I think they were just a bit disconnected in terms of what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
This mid-fight, the Breaker gets caught in an arena. It's not the best way you want to start, so they let him die, then your 2 supports die. All these little things matter, because again, this 15-minute window is where you can start to take over the game if you're Chicken Fighters and really close out a lot of the early game map. Because the only place Radiant has left to go is your own jungle or this top lane. And if you can just charge or bots up here every time the Medusa tries to clear this area, it's a pretty reliable fight as well.
So what they want to do around in Mastery. He's going to be able to kick off the action, jump straight in with the setup. MTT finishes off Peksu with the power shot. See what more they can get. Pleb popping the Stone Gaze here. Aqua will be frozen back in position for now, as it looks like CHILLAX are just using this to get out of there. But Jibe, he's actually going to hold back on the chase down. Doesn't want to charge straight into the 5 of them, whilst they've only got the 4 Chicken Fighters. And CHILLAX actually looking for a bit of a fake back here, as they're ready to smoke and return for some more action potentially. Again, maybe looking to play around that timing of the rune spawn, but Chicken Fighters won't be sending Baranya over to hunt for it quite so yet. We'll get the lead in on the mid, but the response will be there. Jibe, instant charge on a Mastery Era, able to turn with the telekinesis, but will burn out in the macro pile. They got the Soulbind to connect the 2 of them, but the BKB's out on MTD as he's able to focus fight down Baranya. Big kill here for the Wind Ranger as he takes out Baranya. What more can they get? The Omni Slash from Aqua comes back in response over towards loading, chased down with the Blade Fury. Aqua gets the double. But again, CHILLAX definitely hitting back at Chicken Fighters pretty good after a slow start and a huge kill there. I mean, Baranya turning up to the fight. This time round, they're able to lock him down, and MTT can do the damage to get rid of the bat before Baranya can do anything at all in the fight.
Yeah, that was a huge link, but they couldn't capitalize on it, right? This bat just got speared and chunked and burst. He doesn't have his BKB yet. He's really close. This is like exactly when you want to take this type of fight before Direct gets to that item that they're saving for, right? This bat has almost 2,600 gold stored on it.
Yeah.
That's a rough fight to take when your leading core has this much gold and it's not being put to any use. I also think it was kind of set up by this top play, right? They tried to make this top charge go on the Medusa all the way up here, and this arena turned it around, and there weren't any kills, but what it did is it brought the bat TP up here and the Juggernaut TP, and this whole bottom lane got evacuated. And as a result, Chicken Fighters are just kind of clumped in this area. They're clumped around mid, and they get sucked into another bad engagement because they feel like the map isn't being pressured properly. And sometimes you can kind of just get baited into these fights because you're all there and you're like, oh, well, why not fight, right? But in actuality, it's not really that good of a timing for you because you're still trying to save up for all this back gold, which he's still 100 off his BKB. And meanwhile, this Wind Ranger, she had her BKB. The Mars got his Blink Dagger. Again, the Spear Breaker, he didn't even have an item for that fight. He had a ring and half of his Echo Saber. So you need to kind of be aware of these things and not get dragged into the fights that you don't want to take. Just play the map, get to your item timing, make a good smoke, go to their triangle, something like this, and make the fights happen on your terms.
No, we'll see how much things do change when they do have all of those items done. We'll see Branya. BKB's on the way out now. So now time to make a move with that picked up. Soulbind and Lasso ready to go. So they've got the combo. In the last 3 times, Mastery's definitely been the issue here for Chicken Fighters. Some good jump-ins with the arena setups that they'll have to be wary of.
Also, Aether Lens on this Grim. This item changes the hero a lot. It actually lets you get a huge link off without killing yourself to do it, right?
Yeah.
And also just swells on the breaker or the bat. If you can ever get too off in a fight, it's super big. Getting a silence on a Dusa that lets the back gap close and get a lasso before Stone Gaze. Small things like this. These small item timings on supports can make a huge difference in some of these early game engagements.
Chicken Fighters did do a quick sweep of the jungle, but nothing to be found. So we'll start poking at the tier 2 tower. I mean, they'll be happy to take a fight, I think, if CHILLAX give it to them, but now again, CHILLAX are going to start bringing some heroes in. Okay, yeah, they'll hold back on that one.
That was a bold TB.
Yeah, this is probably not the place to take the fight. Chicken Fighters are set up pretty nicely around this tier 2, and CHILLAX, they'll respect that. They'll let the tower fall.
I think in general, it's pretty hard to fight if you don't have the vision coming out from CHILLAX. Like, they want to force the fights into their obs onto their terms, so this Batrider has to spend time going into the fight and potentially has to BKB early or lasso an unideal target, which is not their Medusa and not their Wind Ranger, right? If he ever gets a fight on one of those high damage dealers and drags them into the AoE, it's going to be a difficult fight.
We'll see the Roche attempt here for CHILLAX. Chicken Fighters, they want to interrupt it. We'll see Mastery hold Chicken Fighters off the side. Brandy's going to go with the BKB straight over towards the pit to draw them out of there. He's looking for MTD. The BKB was off in time though, and MTD up on the cliff will TP back to safety. Back in the river, Mastery will be taken down. Same to be said for MNT, as Chicken Fighters, they turn up just in time and take the fight. Now it's just the 3 of CHILLAX. It's going to be very hard for them to push back Chicken Fighters away from taking this Roche from CHILLAX that they were rather close to bringing down themselves. As Chicken Fighters, it's all theirs now. The Roshan going their way, Aegis into the hands of Aqua. CHILLAX, they just couldn't quite do the Roshan quick enough and safe enough, despite Mastery's best efforts to hold Chicken Fighters back from the pit.
Yeah, it's almost like disconnected on what they were trying to do. I think you either jump in arena and you can catch this bat, and that's how you take the fight. If he gets his BKB off, he also had another haste rune for that fight. He's just going to run rampant, right? He cliffs your Wind Ranger. Deuce has to spend her entire Stone Gaze trying to save her other core. It's almost like they should have arena'd and then tried to finish the Rose, just using the Stone Gaze to zone, force the bat to try and commit for the Aegis steal as well. It almost might have worked out better for them, but that's pretty much a worst case scenario, right? You spend the time to do the Roche, you bring them there, you don't get it.
Yeah,
give the Aegis to their carry. Jug gets a huge core kill in the process. Now he's pretty far ahead. And that's also kind of Bat's catch-up fight, right? Because that's a fight where if Bat loses that one, he can kind of get stuck on this item timing for a while. In terms of where's he going to get that gold, he has to go back to playing the map.
Oh.
Pretty close.
To try for the quick catch there. I mean, even if he did get him, he just was up. As well as a good amount of Chicken Fighters behind Aqua, so the fight might not have even been that easy if CHILLAX did get the catch. Yeah, now down 5k. Oh, it's a very unfortunate timing and Roche attempt there for CHILLAX as they start to fall behind. And the Jug, spookier and spookier. Aqua halfway on towards the Aghanims after the SMY and the Battle Fury. He's going to be quite the terror in these fights.
Yeah, he's pretty much only going to get stronger this game, too. I mean, we're talking late game in terms of getting to the Ags, some Agi blink, something like this. I mean, he's just going to one-shot these backline supports, and he's basically afraid of nothing, right? As long as he gets that spin-off, he's not dying in the fights, especially with Aegis. I think in general, this is the period where Chicken Fighters, they want to close the map out and either force the fight on top of this Aegis on the terms they want, or just massively outfarm the enemy, right?
Oh, I'll get the lead in. What have they got to follow it up? Not enough in time. Aqua's able to get out with the Blade Fury. The Soulbinds link the two of them together with the double lasso, double lift. They grab both for the cause. That's going to be MTD down. Pleb will be able to get the Stone Gaze off and tries their best to escape, but they're out of mana. Ice Path comes out from Era. Another great bit of control from the Rubik leaves no chance for Pleb to escape. Lodin as well, also in trouble while it looks for his Pexu's there with the setup. Flame Break knockback from Baranya. As Chicken Fighters surround a third, they pick up another kill. Aqua's ready to start poking onto the tier 2 towers. And again, just a fight that you kind of struggle to see how it would have gone any worse there for CHILLAX. I mean, a beautiful setup there. Getting the two big cores, the mid and the carry, in that double lift, double lasso. It couldn't have started off any better there for Chicken Fighters.
Yep, and set up by a really nice double Ice Path from Era. He had the Ice Path, I think, pre-stolen this fight, or he steals it here. Yeah, he had it. So again, two-man Ice Path into that Grim ult, into the spin, into the lasso. You can't really
they just
sync
didn't
it up
stand
anymore.
a chance. I mean, yeah.
Again, though, initiate on this Aegis Jug. I feel like it's the worst target you can go on in terms of just, he's the tankiest. He's got a second life. He doesn't care if he's jumped because he's never going to get bursted in that jump anyway.
I mean, and that's why he is where he is, right?
Yeah,
you know, he wants them to do what they're doing. And again, Aqua is able to charge in onto MNC with that spin.
Yeah, it's just way too hard to control these heroes in the engagements for Radiant supports.
Oh, look at this again. I mean, this Ice Puff, this stolen Ice Puff once more from Era. A little bit of a setup. Arena's going to come down, but Slashes are ready. They got the damage there this time around. Aqua is backing off, and MTD was able to get to the backlines. He really has it out for Pexu, MTD is. He is able to shoot down the Grimstroke, but nobody else in Chicken Fighters will be going down here. Aqua's still able to keep that Aegis fine. It's going to time out in 50 seconds. He's going to have the Omni Slash back in 25, and also very close to hitting the level 18, which you might have ready for the next fight.
I mean, you definitely just keep going. This Ice Path is the most broken spell in the game right now.
Let's look how long it is. Again, Era. He's got the setup. They've got the lasso. They're locking down MTD. MTD's going to try and come in and help out. MTD again, another Ice Path from Era. Freezing them in position. The Omni Slash is there. Sorry, the Swift Slash as MTD gets taken out. I mean, indeed, Pexu giving his bro some tips here over towards Zera. I mean, these Ice Paths, I think this just single-handedly ruined CHILLAX at this point. I mean, they certainly, they're chilling. They're not really chillaxing. I mean, Zera is causing a lot of issues with the frozen ice.
Yeah, it's almost at this point, just don't cast it, you know?
Just
give him something else.
Take some of those skill points out of that ability. It's causing a lot of trouble for your team.
Well, now he stole Mana Drain, so at least they get some respite.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he tried to steal anything else, to be honest. I don't really think there's a better spell he can get in this game. He still had a huge timer, but yeah, I mean, this is just the power of first phase Jakiro.
Yeah, look at this, the cooldown again, and just the reach and the fact that Era's lining it up so nicely every time. He's catching them every time with the Ice Path.
I mean, it's just too easy with Aether Lens, insta-cast time. Almost anybody's going to hit those, you know. Not to discredit him, but that's just the power of it, right?
Come on, I'm trying to talk him up here. Taking it away from him.
No, I'm not taking anything away. It's they were great placement, but it's easier to be the stolen Jakiro than the Jakiro himself.
Talk about the Jakiro loading. He's going to be in a bit of trouble here.
Oh, you have macro.
Now, are you disappointed that you got the macro in this situation, or do you take it? You're like, it's not an Ice Path, but...
I'd rather have the Ice Path, but it's doing some work here.
I mean, it looks glorious as well. Look at this green stuff all over the place. As Pleb, he's looking pretty dead.
This is just where the map becomes way too hard to play.
Let's get him rough.
Yeah. I mean, this whole bottom lane just nobody can shove this out too far because Bat can just bots down here and run at you solo. What are you going to do, right? You can maybe bait somebody, but again, they have no BKB pierce, so Borania just feels immortal this game, along with this jug spin.
I mean, he is. I think it's the one death was that bit of a slip up round the mid where he gets caught on his tower. Other than that, he's been perfectly fine. And indeed, Aqua as well. 0 deaths on the jug. It's been pretty smooth sailing for him. They're pushing in on the top racks. There's no Medusa up. Pleb still down for 15 seconds. Not a lot that CHILLAX can do to hold back on this one. As Chicken Fighters taking it all away from them.
We haven't really even started getting into the territory where this Bat has his shard, and that just becomes super annoying for pretty much everybody. This shard is, if you remember when Bat was being picked first phase or something, it was one of the things that made this hero first phase, because as you hit this point in the game, 20 to 30 minute mark, this shard comes online. It really adds up super fast. I mean, you're talking about a single flame break adding the stacks on a support. It's almost half or 2/3 their HP, plus you're slowing them. So there's even a decent amount of poke damage that can come out from Chicken Fighters where they don't even have to just try and commit in with the big ults. They can just throw spells on the Jakiro, throw them on the Wind Ranger. Your HP is going to start getting burned. You don't want to press this BKB too early. So I think CHILLAX has to just find the right targets, maybe get a flank, smoke around the back, and just jump. Ideally, you jump the Bat Rider, but I guess if you feel you can burst the jug in a jump, it's another route you can go.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I mean, and if you don't take down Aqua in that initiation, now that he's very close to having that MKB down, the Swift Slashes and Omni Slashes are going to tear you apart. See the smoke come out from CHILLAX. They're going to see if they can do exactly as you say and find something big. Going to come across Jibbe in the mid. Jibbe's able to get the bulldoze and the BKB off. He's being focus fired. He'll use his ult here to try and stop some of the damage coming out from MTD. And meanwhile, a couple of his teammates from CHILLAX, they've been grabbed by the double combo. The Soulbind into the lasso takes out MNT and Mastery. See Pleb try to stand his ground against Piranha, and Aqua, but the slashes are ready. In goes the jug, straight onto the Medusa. The Matter's gone, MTD's in with the BKB, does take down Piranha, but he cannot help out as Medusa as Pleb will fall. A 3 for 2. Again, with Chicken Fighters coming out on top, sure, Piranha's goes down, but at this point of the game, it's all about Aqua and him staying alive, and he certainly does. Level 21 and ready to run it down the mid. And again, just the Medusa struggling at this point, just the amount of damage that Chicken Fighters are able to get out. And each and every time these team fights, the lockdown, the Soulbind and Lasso, it's catching 2 heroes without, every single time, without any sort of difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too easy, right? This link lasts too long. Yep. Bat's always going to be able to just BKB run in the fight. Almost guarantee get a double lasso unless he gets caught in a random stone gaze.
Nothing to stop him. Nothing to stop him charging him with that BKB.
I do feel like in a way that fight almost went better for them than it should have, considering they started on a Spear Breaker, showed everybody he got his BKB off, gets a charge off. They still get the back kill and the breaker kill. I guess it's just the power of the Medusa Scotty. She basically got to right click that entire fight until Jug showed up and dished the real deeps. But we'll see what happens. I think at this point, they have to jump and burst this Jug. He just does too much damage.
Let's see what they can do. Can they get any revenge for the way things went round the Roshan pit last time round? They're poking at the Jug. Aqua, he's caught by the bash into the ice path. Roshan is getting low. Hex comes out. They're going to charge in. Who's going to get this Roshan here? Aqua's trying to stay on target with the Blade Fury, but it's going to be CHILLAX. They'll get the kill and they'll get the Aegis. Mastery able to pick it up. Let's see what they can do with that. As they've got the Shackle connection onto the Jug. Charge from Jibbe holds back the damage from Little Pleb. So Aqua's able to reset up on the high ground. Just the one buyback coming out right now from Lodina. Got Piranha running down MNT, but he's still got a stun left. That should be pretty deadly though. Charge in from Jibbe. They'll catch MNT as he tries to get away from Piranha. They get the roast, they get the Aegis. Mastery's the one that had to pick it up to make sure that Jug didn't get it. It's something for CHILLAX, but probably still not going to be enough there as Aqua surviving throughout all the action. And despite the fact that it's CHILLAX with the Aegis, it's Chicken Fighters that are ready to try and push to the high ground.
Yeah, no Stone Gaze for 40. You could try and force a fight here. Omni Slash came up as well. They could also just wait for Grimlink. You can also wait this Aegis out if you're super conservative. They have a 20k gold lead, and it's not as if CHILLAX can really play the map either, right? But it's a pretty big fight still in terms of keeping the game alive.
Yeah.
Getting this Aegis off the Jug removes their siege mechanism, right?
And we'll see. MTD is going to show himself. But it's going to cost him his life there. I mean, He really has it out for Pexu. I don't know what's going on between the two of them, but he's trying to kill Pexu every single time, and it's not working great for him. Not only cost him his life, and now it's cost his teammates as well. Mastery has been taken down the once. He's able to get the BKB and the blink off, so Mastery will survive to see another day.
Oh, you think Pexu was stirring up some beef before the match?
I don't know. Well, he just really wants to kill this Grim. Every time MTD's going for... I mean, it's understandable. You know, Pexu's soulbind, of course, rather annoying in these fights. So trying to eliminate the threat of Pexu able to play his piece. But he really wants him dead.
Maybe Pexu's just too good of a baiter. He's just showing him what he wants to see.
It is, yeah.
I mean, this soulbind is... It's just too debilitating in this game. In terms of, it's a guaranteed. I think a lot of games you see a spell and you kind of have to land the soulbind, which isn't always easy. You have to land the follow-up. This game, it's like a guaranteed. I mean, he's going to get it here, right?
Oh, we're going to see the start off. We're going to try and burst this, but then we have the soulbind. Jump in for the stone gaze. Holds back Branya for a little bit, but not enough. Soulbind into the lasso once again. Branya able to lock down the two of them. And now with the slashes coming out to the Pleb, Pleb has no chance. As Aqua cuts him to pieces. The rest of Chillax up on the high ground, but now Pleb out for a minute. Chicken Fighters able to get in, get the kills, and they don't lose anything themselves for it. Continue to push their lead further and further ahead.
At this point, they're just too far behind, and the Bat Jug matchup for this Dusa is just way too hard for him to
Oh no, MNT! He tried to step out of the base there. He did buy back for this as well. Dying outside of the base, the Chicken Fighters now with 2 dead on Chillax. They know that there's very little that's going to threaten this sort of push that's going to come out from them. Chiba just walking around the base here with the bulldoze. Creeps coming in. Fortification will buy them a bit of time. 20 seconds until Pleb's back up. And they are going to need him. No arena for 30.
Got to go for some spearback play. Something like this into the tier 4s when Dusa spawns.
That's going to be the best shot. They do have MKB finished on MTD.
Yeah, this Wind Ranger will do a lot of damage if
he
gets to sit there and hit the jug for some chain stun duration.
Well, there goes the middle racks. Chicken Fighters. I'm sure they'll have their final set in their sights very, very shortly here. We'll see how careful they do want to play it. They are going to respect the fact that Chillax have got the full lineup back up.
I wonder if you should almost try and bait a Manto illusion or something.
I mean, it might work.
I mean, you have to do weird things to come back in games like this. You know, you can't just,
oh,
we're going to go in the fight 5v5 and outplay them. It's pretty hard to outplay a 25k goal lead, you know? You
probably have to sort of throw out a real, you know, someone's got to be sacrificed along with a Mantra illusion, you know, send a Mantra illusion out with a line, get them to link them in the last, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Bait the link by showing them a Medusa next to somebody, but it's a Manto illusion.
I
feel like it would work. I mean, you have to choose the sacrifice. Who's the sacrifice?
There's a non-zero chance it could work, you know. It would be worth a shot.
Who do you throw in there? Jakiro?
He's got the buyback, right? Lion's not got buyback.
Oh, Lion's not got it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Branya, he's going to start the fight off in a pretty nice way for Chicken Fighters, as that's going to be Pleb. Or maybe getting out. No, Blade Fury's going to do it. Aqua chasing down Pleb. Pleb's gone. And it doesn't look like they're going to get any chance to do any cute little bait plays, as they've lost Pleb, they've lost MTD, and in the base, Branya's ready to make sure they lose even more. As Mastery goes down, MT as well. GG well played is called, as it will be Chicken Fighters taking this first